Hi everyone, it's Laura. Today we are going to make this really pretty little journal card. Now this can be used on a scrapbook page or just to give a good quick hello note to someone, or I don't know. It can be used for a couple of different things. Maybe a little lunchbox note or something. I thought it was really cute. So we're going to make this today. So today I have a bunch of different things here. I've got some paper. This one's brown. It is 4.5 by 3.5. They're like that. And I've got a cream color one that's 4.5 and a 3 by 3.5 again, right there. I've got a like golden yellow that's 2 by 1.5. I have this really pretty brick red that's 2 by 2. They're like that. And I have this orange here that is 2 by 2 as well. There we go. So for these papers, the actual measurement doesn't really matter because I'm going to be cutting each of these down or using them for my die pieces. So the actual size doesn't matter. I also had scraps, so I wanted to use up some of my scraps. So there's the papers. I have this really pretty stamp here. It's called Journal with Flourish. Let's see here. It's by Stampabilities. So here's that pretty little stamp. There like that. I also have this rectangle die with the squiggly stitching. This comes from a set, they're nesting dies that I got. It's a whole set that I got from AliExpress. And then I also have, if I can pick them up, wow. I also have these 3 leaf dies right here. And these are from a set as well. This set right here. That I also received from AliExpress. So there are those. I have my art glitter glue. This is an old bottle that I just refill on a regular basis. I have just a Crayola thin tip marker in brown. I just grabbed a brown one. I have my little smudgy tool. What is that called? Distressing tool. The little... You guys know what it's called. I can't think of it right now. And I have Distress ink in walnut stain. And I do have the little pad underneath it. I have Distress ink in aged mahogany. And I again have the little pad for it right there. And I have archival ink in sepia. And again, a little pad right there. So this is pretty much everything we're going to use to make this pretty little card. Alright, let's get started. Let me move everything out of the way so we have room to work. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brown piece here that's 4.5 by 3.5. And again, the size really doesn't matter because I'm going to use a die on it. And I'm going to use this stitch die right here on there. So it's just enough to cut the die up. So I'm going to go do that real quick. Okay, so here we go. There's the die itself. There's the leftover piece. Which pieces like that I donate to my kiddos preschool so that they can use them for frames and stuff on cards to their parents and stuff. So we're done with this. I'm going to put this away. Alright, so this piece right here, I'm going to brown the edges. And I am going to use the archival ink because I want it to be a little bit different than the color that's there. So I already have a little pad thingy. I'm gonna grab my tool, kind of do that real quick. Open this up, pick that up. So I'm just gonna go around the edge. Right here like this. I like this. It kind of gives it almost like a leather kind of feel. I don't know, like an old hardened leather. And then I'm going to also go around to each of the corners and just kind of go like that. Kind of just give those corners a little bit of a darker feel. Okay, so that's how that looks. There like that. So this piece is pretty much done. I'm going to set it aside. We are done with this archival ink and with this little pad. So I'm going to take that and put that over here. All right. Next up is wipe my fingers because I got ink all over my fingers. So let me do that real quick. Get all the ink off my fingers. Sort of. All right. Next up is the cream color piece, 4.5 by 3.5. Again, it doesn't have to be this size. This just happens to be a little bit bigger than my stamp. So I'm going to take my stamp right here, and I'm going to use this archival ink again, and I'm going to cover this whole thing. These little tiny pads, I'm never sure if there's enough ink on them on the stamp, so I probably over ink it. Okay, so I'm gonna just stamp this down onto this cream color cardstock. Doesn't matter if it's straight or not, because we're gonna cut it down. There we go. All right. Whoa, throwing things around here. Done with the stamp, so I'm gonna set this aside. Okay, here's the interesting part. So this is going to go in here. I need this piece cut down to be about 2 3/8. Right there. Let me see if I bring this up a little bit. 2 3/8 by about 3.5. Should do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to that, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Hopefully it'll all fit in frame. I don't know if it will, but we are going to try. So here's my cutter, or yeah, my paper slicer, paper cutter thing. And I'm hoping this is all in view so that you can see. So what I'm going to do is I need a straight edge because I know I didn't stamp this straight. I didn't even try. So I'm going to cut right along this top line right here so that I can get a straight edge. Right there like that. Okay. And then I'm going to turn this and I'm going to cut right along those lines right there. Right there like that. Now I'm okay with the flourish being kind of cut off. Now that I have these two straight edges, I'm going to turn this and I want it to be at 2 3/8. So right there. Cut that. And I'm going to turn it again and I want this to be at 3.5. Right there. And now that's how I got the lines to be straight and it be the right size. So hopefully that made sense. So this is going to fit on there almost perfectly. So what I want to do before I do that is I want to ink all of these edges. I'm going to use the Walnut Stain Distress ink to do that. I want it to be a slightly different color brown so it doesn't blend in with the lines and everything. It helps generally if I take this off first. Let me get this. There we go. Okay, so let's ink these edges. Kind of a coffee stain kind of look to it. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to take this little pad thingy off, put it back underneath, and now we are done with the Distress ink for Walnut Stain. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to glue it on here. So I'm going to take my glue and clean off the needle, clean off the edge real quick. So when it comes to things you're going to write on, especially, you need to be careful with the glue and how you place it on there. Because sometimes if it's like a, okay, my glue will come out. Sometimes if it dries too quickly, or if the glue is too thick, things like that, can't hold on to it, then you'll be able to feel the bumps of the glue after it dries, and especially when you write. So you want to be kind of careful about that. I'm going to go ahead and kind of try to line that up as best as I can, as straight as I can. There we go. And glue has a tendency to make things curl, so I'm going to set this aside for the moment and put a block on it. Once I find my block, put a block on it to help stop it from curling. While I'm waiting for that, we're going to take these other little pieces here. So my yellow, my orange, my red, these three. And I'm going to go and die cut a yellow leaf, an orange leaf, and a red leaf. So I will be right back. Okay, so I have my leaves cut. My red one here. Find my Cricut little dental tool pokey doohickey thing. Pop this out. Right there like that. And here is my yellow one. Pop that out. And then here's my orange one. I donate these to my kiddos' preschool as well because it's fun for the kids. So, set those aside right there. Okay, so I am done with these dies now. I can go ahead and put these away. And we're going to get a little creative with these leaves here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Distress Ink Aged Mahogany. I'm going to get this out right here. And on these, I'm just going to ever so slightly just get some of the edges on here. Like that. Just ever so slightly. Just a little bit. Just a little hint of the red. And I'm also going to go like that. Kind of give it a little, I'll bring it up closer so you can kind of see. Doesn't that look cool? And we're not finished with this yet, but I'm going to set that aside so I can do the rest of this one. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing, but a little bit more because it's harder to see the red on the orange. So we're going to be a little more dramatic with this one because, like I said, it's kind of harder to see it on the orange. There, like that. Same thing, I'm going to go like that. Let me pick this up so you can see it. Okay, there's that. I'm going to set this aside now because we are pretty much done with that. I got the red done. Let me wipe this up. And kind of dry it off real quick. There we go. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Crayola, just a regular old thin marker from Crayola, just a brown. I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm just going to go right there like that. I'm going to take this one right here, I'm just going to go there like that. And do the same thing on this one. Go get the stem a little bit, and then I'm going to go around. And I'm going to just touch just a little bit at the little pokey edges on this one. Doesn't have to be perfect. Most leaves are not. So I just kind of want to give it that, like, little bit of, I don't know, dimension, I guess. There, like that. Okay, so here's the orange one. That is all done now. Here is the yellow one. That is all done now. Aren't those pretty? And here's the brown one, or brown one. This is red. That's all done now. Sometimes I just don't know about my brain. There we go. Okay, so we are done with the brown marker and we are done with the distress ink. So what I'm going to do now is, and we are done with the weight. For the moment anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these down on here. Let me get my glue back out. Clean off the needle. Okay. So this is the biggest one, so this is the one I'm going to put down first. If I can get the glue out, I need to refill it. Ooh, too much there. It's starting to run a little bit low in the bottle, so I need to refill this. Alright, so I want this kind of down here, like that. There we go. I'm going to put the yellow one on top of it. So you can still see a little bit of the swirl there, but it's hard to tell that like it was cut off, and yeah, just gives it a little more interest, I guess. So it's not a big deal, kind of, unless somebody points it out, you're not really going to notice it. And then here's this one, and I want this one to be more like this, right here. Close up my glue. While I'm doing that, I'll let this sit on there for a minute. And close this back up. There, like that. Okay, kind of clean up a little bit. So there you have it, guys. Really pretty little fall journal card. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Everyone have a spectacular, wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.